Welcome everybody. It's Friday. It's Figure Friday, which now can mean anything. Absolutely anything. And today I'm going to keep working on the knight. At least the bit rate is okay. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal Roy, please don't don't jinx it. But yes, so far so good. Freeform Friday, exactly. We can do whatever we want. But we are going to continue with the knight. Oh, I don't know if I showed, but on the on this I also added some these more of those same speaker like pieces that I'll put mesh on eventually, so that'll look cool. Again, there's magnet, so that stays on there really well, or that one. Yeah, so that's good. We got the shoulders. Now again, I have to go in the garage and find the right saw, but I'm gonna cut off this bottom piece and just glue a magnet here instead of this. A magnet that will fit inside of here, so this will fit flush like that, essentially. And then using magic, glue another magnet down within this piece so that this will magnet to that, is essentially the idea. And then once that is in there, this will actually get glued on to this arm, because each one of these arms has a different attachment here. Dara, you have a caterpillar. So, all right. Full disclosure, we live in a glorious age. An age in which there are a ton of very specific products that are made and sold for anyone who wants to have facial hair, all sorts of lotions and oils and trimmers and like you name it, all of this stuff. You can subscribe to companies that'll send you things over and over. Well, no, sorry. I'm just saying because there are all of these things do exist. I use nothing. I have a very basic trimmer. Actually, we just got a new one because the one I've been using forever doesn't work very well and was pulling on my hair, which was very painful. And it just so happened that my wife is on some Facebook groups of like local people who, give stuff away and sell things. And there happened to be somebody giving away a trimmer, and I was like, hey, we'll take it. It works much better than the old one already. But yeah, I don't have any of the balms or oils or waxes. I've never. Arsenal Roy, nope. Hey, if they sponsored me, I would mention it all the time, and I'd use it too. But no, like I said, I've never used any of that stuff. It looks interesting. I know people who get way into it, again with all the different scents and styles, but it's just not something I've ever put any of the time or thought into. So I can't help you with that. Way into it, yes. Okay, so I'm figuring out how to do the rest of this Thunderstrike gauntlet. So we've got the hand. Now we need to build the rest of the arm to put the hand on. Now there's definitely an option here for magnetizing this part, and we'll see how it works here. But essentially, where the hand goes here, there's just like a nub, and you could definitely slice off that nub and put a magnet on the hand. But really, all that's going to give you is just a little bit of rotation on the hand. I don't think it's really worth it unless you were doing some sort of much bigger customization on that. So I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, this goes with this. This goes with this. Okay. where do we start with this thing? There's so many little different pieces. And again, it's one of these complicated instructions where things go in different directions. But I don't want to... Crap. Yeah, it looks like what I need to do here is I need to do the magnets first before I can even put this together. I have to get a magnet in here so I can glue that together. Oh man, I didn't want to have to do that first. Okay. Yeah, I can put A45 and A46 together though. Alright, I'll do that. A45 and A46. Nope, Zardoz, we had the exact same thought. Yes. Yeah. So if you saw my social media or the Discord, I took Benjamin to the LA Natural History Museum yesterday, which was a lot of fun. We felt very safe. We had to get tickets. We had a allotted time when we could enter. Everything was very socially distanced. Obviously, everybody was wearing masks. Yeah, so we had a good time. My first time in a museum in over a year. Yeah, Benjamin, he's very silly, very cute. He liked it. He had a good time. We ate snacks. What more could you ask for? So we're looking at other things to do like that nearby for both kids. But yeah, it was a nice little outing with just the one. Okay, so we've got this piece, which just making sure I can glue this without needing to do anything else to it. Okay, good. Well, full disclosure, actually, originally she was going to take him, but she hurt her foot, so we switched it up at the last minute. Which was all good. Glue. And then I was yet again up way too late last night doing work. Oh, Zardoz, you're going to be at Star Wars Celebration. Nice. Yeah, they just made the announcement a couple days ago of that. Star Wars Celebration, I've been to a few of them. They bounce around all over the place. But a couple times it's been here in LA or Anaheim, essentially the same, Southern California. It's super cool. I've gone to Star Wars Celebration on years when nothing really was coming out for Star Wars. Back in those days, there were years when no big Star Wars content was coming out. I've also been to Star Wars Celebration when there was major Star Wars content being announced and coming out, and it's very different, but they've both been fun and interesting. Ooh, so this attaches like that. Looks like. Yeah, so then what happens is we'll get 54 and 55. So these are going to be the I assume it's these. Yeah. And then these are going to be the upper arm joints that will attach to the shoulder joint. Which again, I need to magnetize before I can put this sucker together. Lots of parts on these nights. Lots of parts. But again, and like Zardoz was saying, if you were going to build this and you were thinking like, all right, I'm going to build this as this specific version and you didn't need to magnetize anything, you could build one of these a lot quicker than what I'm doing. Yeah, Darrow, I feel you on that. I mean, the CDC literally yesterday basically came out and said, masks? Who needs them? Nobody needs to wear masks anymore. Which is crazy. 2 hours to build a night? That's awesome. And of course, there are some other night versions where when you buy the kit, it doesn't have a lot of options. This one, again, I bought this kit because it has every single standard weapon option for both the melee and gun arms. So I could have all the options, but yeah, not all the kits have all these pieces anyway. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if rules change based on the new information we're getting, how people's behavior change. Oh yeah, Darrow, I am certainly with you. I I like wearing a mask. I don't mind it. People are gross. Yeah, I don't know. And again, it's specific, but with children, we still have other things to worry about. All right, so we've got this piece. Well, it would help if I had this in the right direction. Okay, there we go. Turn it around. Okay, so essentially it goes on like that, and then once this gets glued together, then you add like hoses and pistons on the back, and then the arm fits like that, and then it's going to get a little cover here. But again, I can't do any of that stuff without gluing this, and I can't glue this without putting a magnet in first. So we need to wait on that. Yeah, and I think still my best bet. Yeah, my best bet is to. I'm trying to think through this as I talk, but start here. Cut this off, glue a magnet on here, and then once that's on, I can see how exactly where it's going to fit, and then build in the magnet on the inside. So that's my strategy. So for now, these are going to go off to the side, and I'm going to continue on to the next part. Oh, Zardoz, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So if you missed hearing me talk about it, there, it's been an idea I've had for a long time, but somebody posted a flowchart on how to pick your Warhammer 40k faction, and then it jump started me on it. Yeah, so I want to be able to. I want to make a quiz, a flowchart, whatever you want to call it, where I can talk to somebody who has no clue about anything in Warhammer, and I can say, hey, do you like this thing? Are you into this thing? Blah 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 blah, and help them pick a faction. Eventually, I want to have pictures for each one that I can also show, because aesthetics are important. And yeah, that would be cool. So we can base on that. Ooh, Darrow. I mean, look, as much work as this is, and planning, and again with all the magnet stuff, it is super cool. I mean, just the fact that like I've got this thing already, and now it has the start of arms, and I've got the magnets, for the top. Like this, it's cool. I haven't had any trouble with any of the parts yet. It's just a lot of it is a lot of work, but it's all going together. And if anybody is interested, and if anybody cares, there are a bunch of people online who make other components for these things. Um, Obviously, you can get 3D printed anything you want, but there are people who've made other heads, other entire carapaces with details, armor panels, different weapons that are styled after certain things, or look like certain other things. You can buy a bunch of wolf styled parts if you want to have a knight that looks like it goes well with your space wolves, all sorts of stuff like that, which is really cool. All right, let's start looking at the guns. Now, again, there's only so much of this I can do without getting into the who played Space Wolves too. Yeah, they're not my favorite either. So I'm definitely going to be putting magnets in my weapons as well. But I think, all right, is it the Gatling gun that's its own totally separate piece? I think it is. I think what happens is the Gatling Cannon is 18 and 17, but the thermal cannon and the rapid fire battle cannon both share 22 and 23. Okay. That's cool. And again, there's a way I've looked on. Yeah, so I've seen that there's a way to magnetize on this one. You only, yeah, you build the housing, and then you put, well, okay, so that's the right. So you use a little magnet on the side for the ammunition, either the hopper for the battle cannon rounds or the promethium tanks for the thermal cannon, and then you put a tiny magnet behind the secondary weapon here, because that has its own little ammo thing. And then again, what most people do is, yeah, so either you don't worry about the shield so much because it just fits onto that round part, or like I said, people use the plastic card tubes that go into the back of these that just plug in to the housing. But but I'm going to make it more complicated, and because I want to eventually figure out how to use these, I do want magnets in there. So I think I'm going to magnetize it anyway, in some way. All okay. All lurkers, as always, are super welcome. We love lurkers here. I don't have a command for it, but feel free to lurk, please. Shoot. Okay. So now again though, now I need to plan all of my things before I do it. All right. Let's see what the parts look like at least. It should be. Alright, so there's one housing, there's the other housing. So the first one I'm looking at is 18 and 17, which will be this one. Cool. Work alert, yep, hey. You gotta do what you gotta do, Rabbit Wombat. No shame. We would not have, the internet would not be the glorious place it is without lurkers. And creepers. Chop. Okay. What was I? Yeah, Zardoz, exactly. I mean, with these things are so heavy, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do something. Yeah, I was talked about that a little bit on Wednesday, and I don't know exactly how that's gonna work yet, but. A lot of reinforcement. Yeah, like I said, I may have to cheat it with something on the base, or maybe make two different bases for this thing. I think I'm gonna need that. Like I said, I like my lurkers. I like my creepers. I creep. You never know when I might be watching a Janelle or Andy stream, but I'm just working, so I can't be fully involved. Yeah, but these are so cool, and like the size is pretty great. I know they're big, but I don't know. Anyway, but like I said, if I have a base with, if I do the base correctly, and it looks like the knight is smashing its way through wreckage, I could I could do it in such a way that the walls of the walls or a pile of rubble can support can help support where these will be. Because again, I'm going to lock down the body anyway. This isn't going to be moving around. There, I can envision it. There's a way. There's definitely a way I can do it. The amount of work it's going to take, and if I can ever get it done, that might be a different story. But it would be cool to have it as a display piece. I have a feeling that these knights are going to be more for display. Yeah, like it's smashing through a building. Exactly. Or I mean, it could even be like it's setting up its giant sonic shot, and it needs to uh, anchor itself somehow. And as far as I've read, knights right now are pretty much garbage. Nobody plays them. But that could change, of course, when the codex comes. Oh, not sure the giant speaker will clear the torso. Well, that's an interesting question. Can we check that now? What do we need to check that? We need A11, 8, 12. Is that one we have out yet? What's this? Let's find out. We can do that right now. Because that is the next piece. Well, that's true. If it can't clear it with these parts, then that's pretty much a bust for those speakers as they are. Let's find out. Let's fuck around and find out. That's true, and that's another thing that people do. In this world of go big or go home, and not liking short things for some reason, some people, a bunch of people have made extension parts to make their knights taller. Now this is purely aesthetics, and I don't know. I think it's kind of silly, but there are all of these parts that people make that go here between these two parts to make your knight taller, because that's a thing that apparently a lot of people are interested in. All right, so I'm not going to worry exactly about how these. I guess I should do this in generally the direction it'll fit. Let's go like this. I may need to get my blue tack for this test just because there's so many things to hold together. Okay. Okay, so oh, I see. Oh, man. Yeah, that's so far back. Hmm. Well, it's not... If it's angled out... I mean, it's not the worst thing. The only thing I'm missing are the shoulder pads, which I don't think come that far forward and down. I think that'll work. Could work, you know. It can't go all the way forward, but you know, having it out a little bit at a side angle, that's not the worst thing. Oh, on the knees? Good question. Hui. Oh, I'm trying to trying to hold everything together. No, that'll work. Yeah, it clears it. I mean, I definitely something worth checking. Glad you mentioned that, but yeah, it looks like I'll try the other side. Because remember, all of the guns are interchangeable as far as which side you put them on. Ooh, actually, did I screw myself putting that thing on there? Oh, man. Well, that's kind of a bummer. The shield, well, even the shield would have done it. Uh-oh. Hmm. How am I going to do that? I mean, again, it'll work if it's splayed out. Yeah, that one can be out a little bit more. Or I can do both of them out. Yeah, it will work. It can work. This can happen. It can happen. So the proof of concept, it can work. Yeah, I mean, look again, and it doesn't. They don't have to be straight on. They can be out a little bit. That'll look cool too. I say we forge ahead, like the brave tech priests of Mars. We just keep smashing parts together. Here, it's going well. Yeah, I don't. I kind of glued all. I mean, of course I could, but I did glue all this together. I was kind of impatient with that part. So this is this is all solid. I could break it off, and there is another shield that I could replace it with anyway. But that is that's solid right there. Shh, don't tell Stardust. The, keep it quiet about the tech heresy. We're trying to keep that under the table. Okay, so I can continue. All right, so I'm going to continue getting the parts for the Avenger Gatling Cannon, just not gluing a bunch of the stuff together yet. Although I guess I can glue the front part together, because that's going to be separate anyway, in theory. So all the guns have shields because we are knights and everything has to look knightly. And they are kind of silly. I am looking at acquiring more knights because I'm having a lot of fun with this project and thoughts about how an entire knight house could work with different knights, with different styles. So I'm looking into it. We might see more things on this channel in the future. Knights cost a lot of money, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to get Harkonnen Knights. That's good. I like that. So essentially what happens is put this together, and then you get this big old shield. It attaches right there to the front, like that. And then the gun will come out of the front of that. Boom. So on this one, on this gun, it has these cool little, you see those little supports? Technically, yeah. So that's where that would glue on. But again, with a big old magnet in here, it'll attach right like that. That's the plan, at least. And then this one gets a bunch of other little extra bits. There's a little flamer that goes on the bottom of that, because why not? Get a little flamer attached to your Gatling Cannon. Like I'm like, glue some plastic bits to your kids and a full-size Titans. Now that is a great idea. Come here, kids. I do often talk about how the Warlord Titan is. I talk about how big and heavy the Warlord Titan is compared to Maximilian. I think he's finally taller than one of them. Yeah, that is also true, Zardoz. The patience to stand still is not quite there. Alright, so to build this Gatling cannon, the front of it, there is a central piece, and you attach the barrels to the outside of it, which is actually pretty handy, because a lot of times on cannons where there are multiple barrels or sections, you just kind of have to glue them to each other, and it can be a little bit of fiddly business. So it's nice that for this one there's actually a central support for it. We'll see exactly how it goes. Yeah, especially Warhammer people. Warhammer people are not known for their stamina, their ability to be patient. Alright, so that's the central connector bit. And then we're going to get A62. Which one is 62? The middle one. Yeah, I want to be careful and get the right... Do these in the right order so they actually fit together. There was a person, A62, somebody in the Warhammer community made a tweet a couple days ago about how there are a lot of people in the Warhammer community who are fairly toxic, that there are great people who are creators in the Warhammer community, artists, authors, people making content online, but the actual player base is, at least in this person's experience, has not been great. And of course you can imagine what happened with that. The internet came out to scream at this person, and it got really gross really quickly, which is unfortunate. And, proved this person's point. That's weird. The picture does not show the right way to put this thing together. Huh. 13. The way the picture shows, it does not actually fit. So I'm going to test this all before I actually glue it down. Yeah, it was sad to see. And again, so many tweets like that, you can disagree. You can say, no, there are great people in the community, like so and so, we're awesome. But just to attack the person is, again, proving the point, and you're going out of your way just to be a jerk again. Yeah. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. Whoa, shoot. Where'd that go? Alright, so in theory, this would go that. Okay, I think this is gonna work. It is fiddly. Definitely have to do one piece at a time here. And then I saw, okay, so that happened on Twitter. I actually saw the tweet and I commented. I said, I think you're exactly right. I said, and that's why I really like teaching people how to play Warhammer and teaching people about the lore, so I can bring all of my cool friends and acquaintances into the hobby and into the community and continue to grow the amount of good people here. And then I saw in a Facebook group that I'm in, that person actually talking about the tweet, because all of these communities, you end up running into the same people in multiple places. And then somebody made a really interesting comment about how there are. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that works. Yeah, and somebody made a comment about how there are a fair number of, we'll say, people who their entire personality is, I'm a Warhammer 40k person. That's their personality. Yeah, people. Just people. They don't really have lives outside of it. They're defined by how long they've been doing Warhammer, how many models they've built and painted. And if that's all you have, then when somebody talks about how, there are problematic people in the community, and then they think, wait a minute, is that me? And it might be. So anyway, I thought that was kind of an interesting comment. But yeah, get out there. Don't be just a Warhammer person. Live life. Or be just a Warhammer person, but be a cool Warhammer person. Okay. So gentle. Okay. Good. Well, that worked. Actually worked a little bit better than I was expecting. Ooh, historical war games. Oh man, I've always been fascinated watching people play historical war games. I don't really have any interest in it, but it is very interesting to see and to watch. Yeah, let's get the front on this baby. Now for Chaos Knights, sort of like the one that I'm building, uh, and like I said, according to everybody who's in the know about the meta, Knights aren't really that great right now anyway. But if you're going to play a Chaos Knight, the best way to equip it, or one of the best ways, is with dual Avenger Gatling cannons. So essentially two of the weapon that I'm building right now. You can't play that. That's not an option for Loyalist Knights, just for Chaos Knights. But even this box comes with one of them. So what do? Do you buy multiple kits? Do you buy one aftermarket? Do you get a 3D print? So on and so forth. Some people I know, or I've heard, swap in other parts, like... This is all going somewhere. Like the cannons from a Forge Fiend kit, which I actually have because I built mine as a Mauler Fiend. But yeah, there's a bit of a there's a bit of a size difference between those. This is a very cool piece, especially because it has skulls and like a chaosy element, but it is not nearly as it's a little dinky compared to the real thing. Womp womp. Oh well. Because when I heard that, I was like, oh, I have those. But that would look a little silly, I think. Alright, does it matter which way this goes? I can't see that it does. Cool, let's glue it. Glue it, glue it. Ooh, in the actual lore, has there been orcs looting a night? Not that I know of, but to be honest, I haven't read a ton of the actual orc lore. And I know there's some novels that focus on orcs that are supposed to be really entertaining. I just haven't gotten to them yet. I mean, I hope so. I hope at some point. Orcs have looted a night. That would be great. Oh, I see what you're saying. If there was... Yeah, I mean, there's just no great place on this. Either you'd have to cut it off there, which would still be... yeah, I don't know. Well, also you would need to do... Now that I have one of them... I'm just trying to see what the different configurations would look like. And at the end of the day, oh, it would help if I had that on the right way. At the end of the day, I don't really care. It's fine. Especially because if I'm playing them with the speakers on there anyway, and just said that the speakers are Avenger Gatling Cannons, you know, whatever. Yeah, who knows? Who cares? Okay, so we have a cannon. And then it gets a little shield on top, which is A15. And that is that A15? I assumed... Oh, that's got to be the top of the hand. With the thumb. Where is A... Oh, there it is. Cool. I've definitely seen people take these knight models and orcify them. Those always look super, super great. Yeah, that's true. You can run it as other orc things. I mean, a knight is... A knight is basically the size of what? A Gorkanaut or a Morkanaut? So you can do that too. One day I will know or remember which loadout makes it a Morkanaut and or a Gorkanaut. At this point, I do not know or remember. Well, a Stompa is way bigger than a knight. No, Stompas are... Hold on. That I do have. I mean, the Stompa is massive. Oop, don't want to knock over the glue. If I can try to get these things in frame. I mean, it doesn't have the head on there, but yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely looking at more Gorkanaut for the knight. I mean, you could beef it up, certainly, and make some kind of crazy orc thing. Oh, shoot. Alright. Stompa, you're going to be my co-pilot over here. Alright, Dara, you've got your next project. And go. So that's what the cannon looks like. It's pretty cool. Now I didn't build that Stompa. I got it from a friend of mine who sold me her entire orc army for a very good price. That was as far as she had gone with it. That's interesting. Stompas are $50 cheaper than a knight? That's crazy. Okay, so we've got these parts now. Do I glue these together? Stompas are only $125? That's crazy. I did not realize. So I think, pretty sure I glued this together. Trying to figure out if there's a reason why I wouldn't. I can't think of any reason. So I think I am going to glue this together. I know it's weird, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna glue it. Because this will just do I? Oh my god! I don't need more Stompas. I don't know if Stompas have ever been good in any edition. I don't think they're good right now. Tiny Chris, thank you so much for. Did that? Where's? Is it not playing audio for that? I didn't hear it. Tiny Chris, thank you so much for your resubscription. I appreciate that. I'm gonna glue it. I'm gonna do it. Hype, hype, hype. Yeah, it's its own. The whole Adventure Gatling Cannon assembly is its own separate weapon assembly, so none of the parts have to interchange with anything else. It's just a matter of, again, the magnets I'm going to do for other stuff. So I'm going to put this together. The only... Yeah, I mean, look, not that any of these things are cheap, but for the scale of it, I mean, you saw how big... Well, again, I think that's... Zardoz, yeah, you're absolutely right. But I think, again, I'm going to put it inside the housing. I'm going to put a big magnet in here. Or whatever it's going to be. Will be inside. I don't think it'll be on the shield itself. think I would need that extra. That would just be silly. Versus, I don't know. Because then how would I... But then how... Okay, so how would I make that interchangeable, though? It would have to be... Oh, thank you, Dara. I haven't had a drink lately. That is good blue water. Alright, alright. I won't glue this right now. I'll continue to think about it. Magnet in the shield. Yeah, that could work. So many magnets. Okay. Alright, I'll leave that off for now. And I love how, like I said, there is a tiny flamer that goes... Come on. That goes down here in that little slot right there. That, I mean, you'll never see it, especially with the full cannon on there. But it technically has... Come on. It technically has a little slot in there so it can shoot out the bottom. Stay. Alright, I'll drink more. And then, of course, there are pistons that go, but we can't worry about pistons right now. No, thank you, Zardoz. No, I do appreciate it. Trying to. I know at some point I'll probably get to a place where it's like, all right, I can't do everything I'm envisioning, but for now, you know, I haven't hit any roadblocks, at least in the ideas. Whether I can actually accomplish all these things is, you know, that may be a different question. Do I think Bob Ross and Ron Swanson would be friends or enemies? Darrow, that is a good question. I want to say enemies, just because I like that. I like the idea of them being enemies. All right, so let's start building thermal cannon and rapid fire battle cannon parts. Rapid fire battle cannon, otherwise known as the RFBC. As you can probably tell from looking at them, what they are good for. Rapid fire battle cannon. It's basically like a tank gun, so it's going to shoot a big old shell, long range, blow stuff up. It also has an additional little stubber underneath it for infantry that get close. And then the thermal cannon, which is made for melting through armor and tanks, but at a much closer range. There you have it. Wait, is that what the thermal cannon is, or is the thermal cannon... No, I think I mixed that up. Thermal cannon's the flamer one. Gigantic flamethrower. That's what that one is. Alright, so on these, again, I'm going to start backwards. Or I'm going to start at the end and work my way backwards. So we're going to start with the barrels for the thermal cannon. So let's do that. Ooh, and we should talk about tomorrow. The Mega Melta. Okay, no, so I was right the first time. Yes. Melt all the things. Tomorrow, folks. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Tomorrow. 2 o'clock Pacific time. That is PDT. Because we're all about the D. we'll be here with the Warhammer War Room stream. It'll be me and my special guest, Danny Montooth of Perception Check. Very excited to have him on, talk to him about cool stuff. He was on a couple of the hyper things early on when we did some Kill Team. He's had his own unique introduction and journey to Warhammer, so we'll talk about such things, and of course all the cool stuff that he's up to. Yeah, it'll be great. And then tomorrow, I don't even know. Tomorrow night, we've got Emma hosting the Home Buddies group stream. It's going to be trivia, but it's going to be some new and different kind of trivia. I have no more information about that than any of you from the one post she made in the Discord. I have no idea what we're in for. I mean, of course it'll be great, but I'm a little nervous, but it'll be fine. Oh, all that new math. So much new math. Yeah, and again, I don't know if they're going to be teams. She has said that there will be chat participation as always. I don't know what form that'll take. Heck. So yeah, we'll all find out together. But I'm excited. Emma always puts together a good time for everybody. So it'll be great. Thank you, Darrow. Yes. I mean, I'm sure you're all already following Emma. Oh no. Okay. Gluing together the barrels of the thermal cannon. No, as far as I can tell, there are no signups. Just be there in chat and see what happens. Gorkanauts are the same price as Stompas? What is happening here? What is Games Workshop doing? I don't know. But that is wild. Alright, so we've got our big old thermal cannon front part piece. So yeah, very exciting day tomorrow. Looking forward to all of that and more. So yeah, definitely tune in to whatever you can. I know people are busy on their Saturdays, especially depending on what part of the world you're in, or if you have other things going on. All good, but if you can be there, then be there. Okay, so that is done. We'll put that off to the side. Otherwise, for the thermal cannon part, what can I do? We can prep the ammo piece that goes on the side. And again, Danny is kicking off a series of a couple of really cool guests, especially guests who do and who are into kind of different things, which will be nice. I don't have anything confirmed relating to the opening of the LA Warhammer Cafe store, but things are in the works. I know I've said that before. I don't want to tease it too much, but I'm working on what that might look like. All right, so these are the tanks that go on the outside to fuel the thermal cannon. That goes over there, and I got to keep all my all my parts separate for where everything is gonna go. Yes. Yeah. Like exactly, Eridansk. Things in the works. Work, work, work. Yeah, Perception Studios. Some very cool people over there doing some really fun things. What's next? All right, let's get out the basic housing. So again, these two standard weapons for the knights share the same housing. The thermal cannon and the rapid fire battle cannon. Perception Studio. There you go. And yeah, like I said, I don't know who figured it out originally, but it's pretty darn ingenious. Rather than doing magnets, which again I'm most likely going to do anyway because of my whole speaker system, what they figured out is you can get cardboard tubes. So they're essentially like straws, and they come in different diameters. They come in a pack, and again, they're different diameters. So what they figured out was if you take the biggest diameter tube and you mount it in here, so again, you just have to build up, like you can use pieces of sprue just to fill up the middle here, but you put it in the middle so it's pointing out straight, but it's inside, and then you take smaller diameter and you attach it here, then that just slides in. Of course, there's a shield piece that's going to be in the middle, but then essentially you just slide the smaller diameter tube from here into the larger diameter tube in here, and it just holds it like that, which again is pretty darn ingenious. I mean, I suppose depending on how I do it, I might still be able to utilize that if I just, well, again, that's a more complicated thing for another day. Right now we're just prepping all the parts. And yeah, there are tutorials for all of this kind of stuff on the internets. And I do want to say that yes, while technically knights aren't super great right now, they are one of many armies that do not have a 9th edition codex, so everything can change once they do get their own book. They'll get new rules, changes to their points, and all these things will change their playability, and they might dominate the meta once again. And they have in the past. Knights have been very strong in previous editions, both as allies to other armies or to play on their own. So we'll see what happens. Of course, that kind of stuff doesn't really matter to me that much. Okay, so that again is the basic housing. Now, depending on which version of this you're going to make, they have different pieces that go here in the back. Essentially, the way it works is for the battle cannon, you leave this open. In theory, I guess that would be like, what is it called in a firearm? Is that the breech? So like when you fired the shell, the part would knock back, so there's an empty space there. But if you build it as the thermal cannon, there's a piece that goes in there, and there's like a tube that comes out of it. Most people suggest just putting in the thermal cannon part just to fill up the space. Yeah, Zardoz, I mean, whatever you want to call it, that works. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna do what all the other cool people are doing and just fill that space up anyway. Yes, apparently in the meta currently the best knight is one that's a Forge World knight.
Of course. Anything I do, you can come to.
Of course. The Megara Questoris knight.
Max, where did you poop that you said you were gonna do?
Basic knight.
No more iPad.
Technically
No more iPad on the floor.
Questoris class. Now, if you go to Forge World, you can get two different versions where it's the same body on the inside, same body, same legs, but it has a different carapace, different shoulder pads, different weapons, and different heads, essentially. And that's all that makes them different. I mean, that's enough. And to make those kits, they come with this plastic kit, this basic part, and then a separate set of resin parts to do with those other things. Darrow, I have not reached out to that Scott. That Scott is very popular, has 1 million followers. I don't know that I would appear on his radar, although I suppose it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt ever to reach out to people and say, "Hey, I'm doing this cool thing. Would you like to be? Would you be interested in being involved?" So maybe I will. So yeah. So with that piece in there, it fills the hole, fills that hole. You get a cool little hose that goes there. And that doesn't interfere with any of the other pieces that go here. Again, these are for the ammo sections. So that's fine. I'll probably leave it like that. Right, each one has its own unique shield. Let's get that shield so we can see what that'll look like. Part number 24. Yeah, Scott the Maniac, he certainly seems cool. I've watched a bunch of his videos. He is an incredible hobbyist, painter, all that stuff. That out. That's trash. Alright. Oh, big plans happen. Yes, Black Cavalier. Yeah, on I always forget the name of his channel. That one is Tabletop Minions. Is that right, Uncle Adam? So this could just be me. Tabletop Minions. Okay, cool. I get a little bit of an interesting vibe from Uncle Adam. His stuff is great. He's obviously very knowledgeable, very helpful. He's got some really great content about being old. and just like how your hobbies change as you get older, which I think is hilarious and again absolutely useful. But sometimes he strikes me as somebody who's a little bit more uh, like he's acting, which is fine. I mean, hey, look, YouTube is a business. But yeah, sometimes I get a little bit of a interesting vibe from him. I've seen him in person at yeah, Aaron's a little bit of that, which again I'm not saying is a bad thing. There's certainly lots of people who do that when they are on camera. It's fine. I wouldn't say that I do that so much. I think for me, what you see is what you get in real life too. I mean, obviously, sometimes I'll be more. I'll try to be a little bit more high energy on stream, but some people like really put it on. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, just it's just a vibe that I get sometimes. All right, so this is essentially what the thermal cannon is going to look like. Oh, and like I said, I've seen Uncle Adam, which is also seems like a weird thing to say, but I've been in the same room with him at the Las Vegas Open, but I haven't actually spoken to him. So again, you've got the shield. The shield mounts directly onto the housing, and so on and so forth. And then there'll be little additional pieces, of course, that go everywhere. There are also little tiny pieces that go in these slots, but I'm going to leave those open for now in case I want to put something else in there. Yeah, Goobertown, I've seen some of his things, but I guess I don't subscribe to his channel. I haven't seen a ton of his stuff. I don't really know why. I watch all of Squidmar's stuff. He seems like a good dude. But yeah, there are lots of lots of great hobbyists out there. I think the better ones rise to the top. Also, the ones who are again just good YouTubers, which helps. We've talked about Midwinter Minis guy over there. I think those are most of the ones I watch. Yeah, and the Tabletop Titans, they're more about the battle reports than hobby and Auspex Tactics same way, and Tactical Tortoise is the same way. There are all these so many YouTube channels. Dana Howell, yep, she's got a lot of cool stuff. All right, so I think that's where I'm gonna leave the thermal cannon parts for now. Start doing the same thing for the rapid fire battle cannon, and then it's just a matter of figuring out the magnet situation. Well, magnets, attachments, what the hell I'm going to do with these speakers. Yeah, so I should be getting low on parts on the sprue, hopefully. So this is the arm connector for this gun mount, because again, it's a separate one for the Avenger. Different one. Good to know. This is the shield for the battle cannon, stubber for the battle cannon, pistons. This is the ammo piece for the stubber, or this is whatever. This goes on the back. This is the ammo hopper for the battle cannon, and then we've got a couple of masks for the head. Back of the hand, back of the Avenger battle cannon, a few more head pieces. This is the other missile launcher that I'm not using. Hoses, little attachment bits. Okay, yeah, so I just want to make sure, just looking at the sprues, like what's left on the sprues that I haven't used? Cogs and Aquilas that I'm not going to be using. Well, not for this project anyway. And then going back to the leg armor that'll go on later. All right, cool. Everything accounted for. Yeah. What everybody's saying. There are lots of good hobbyist YouTubers out there. For sure. We should make a list to share. There are, and again, pretty much what we're all talking about here are either, well, you guys are mostly talking about hobbyists. I also talked about some more of the like the rules and meta and battle report people. But yes, there are. Oh, thank you, thank you so much, Black Cavalier. I try. Look, my whole point in all this stuff is to make it fun, to make it interesting, to bring in new people who might like some of this content, even if you don't plan on ever playing the game or reading the books. I think I do a decent job of showing how there's a lot to this universe, and it can be interesting. It can be interesting just to listen to. I hope. So yeah, that's my plan. And who knows if you're ever around, if I ever meet more of you in person, we can play. We can smash some models together. All that kind of good stuff. And with that, I should probably get going. Got a very busy Friday with kid stuff going on. So yeah, I hope everyone can join in tomorrow. And of course, most of my streams will end up on my YouTube channel. If you happen to go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, do all the things, whatever. I'm not really focused on growing that YouTube channel, but like I said, most of my streams do go there. Yeah, for the most part. Eventually, I do have ideas on some like specific YouTube content that I might make, especially with my kids. We'll see if I ever get around to it. It's not a huge priority at the moment. Well, Daryl, look, you've made incredible things, so I take credit for that. Yeah, that all sounds good. All right, let's see who is on. Who we can go and raid. So stay well, everybody. Stay hydrated. I guess don't wear a mask. The rules change all the time. Yes, there is. Get my book. Look at that. Oh, that's a cool list of names. T'Pol, Chi-Chi, and Spike. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the mask stays on for me and my family, for sure. Who listens to the CDC anyway? Oh, Spike. Spike. That's a character. There's spikes in a bunch of different things. As you would know if you read my book. Yeah, exactly. Which Spike? Yeah, there are lots of them. Let's see. Ooh, Twitch is trying to recommend me to check out G4. You know what? No thanks. I'm going to pass on that. Those G4 people, they made a big deal last year about how we're coming back. We want cool people to be in our community, blah blah blah. Let us know if you're a cool person and why you'd be good. And a bunch of us made little things and said such things, and lo and behold, the only people who have thus far been on G4 and joined that team are people who already had massive followings online. It's like, oh, okay, I see how this goes. So all of that was just BS. I mean, Daryl, look, it's fine. It just seemed a little bit disingenuous. A little bit. And I could be wrong, but I have yet to see anybody actively involved with any G4 things who didn't already have followers in the 5 digits or more. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe I just haven't seen everything. But I still see other people saying, yeah, I'm going to try for this G4 thing, and let's try to get their attention. I'm like, why? If you don't have 1 million followers already? I don't know, Aridinsk. I did maybe just sheer naivete, but you do hope. There's some kind of hope out there that especially when they're bringing something back, that they'll try to get just interesting people who might not already have a huge following, but you can be disappointed. And also, I will say that I haven't actually watched any of G4's new content, so maybe it's great. And if you like it, that's awesome. More power to you. Arrogance, totally fair. And yes, we should all be cynical as far as corporations. And I'm certainly not saying this for any personal, like, I personally am not sad and upset that I wasn't chosen to ascend to the ranks of G4. I did make a silly little video, like a lot of other people did, but I had no delusions that that I was going to be on the G4 team anytime soon, and it's totally fine. I have enough to do. Okay, yeah. No, like I said, Arrogance Continuum is definitely on my list of things to check out at some point. All right, let's see if I can get a raid command going here. Raid. All right, Darrow, you talked me into it. We'll raid Miniac. Let's see what he's up to. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. I think this was very productive. Got going on these weapon arms. Again, I just need to spend some time, like, with a handful of magnets, which, as you know, are all attached to my old spray can, and just like really look at the nitty gritty of how am I going to actually attach these things together. Probably something best to do off screen because it's going to involve a lot of like head scratching and staring at things for a long time. But yeah, we'll continue. Hopefully get this thing to a stage where I can start, primering and painting at some point. Because that'd be good. Okay, so yeah, go say hi to Scott. Scott over Miniac. I'm sure there are a billion people watching, and that's fine. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., Warhammer War Room stream with Danny Montooth joining me tomorrow night over the Yama 5 channel, 7 p.m. Pacific. Home Buddies group stream doing some sort of trivia. It's going to be awesome. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.